What's going on, guys? Welcome into Clutch B-Ball TV. I hope you guys are having an amazing day or night. And today, I'm going to be talking about one of the most underrated players out of the 2020 NBA draft class. His name is Patrick Williams out of Florida State. He was selected 4th overall in the lottery. And this pick actually got a lot of criticism, if it was because he didn't start or people simply didn't watch him play whatsoever. I thought it was a good pick by the Chicago Bulls, in my opinion. Yes, some Bulls fans really hated this pick. They either wanted a Deni Avdija, who's a plug-and-play type of player, or a very fun player to watch of an Obi Toppin to get them excited. Even though I really never thought Obi Toppin had anything that was going to translate to the NBA, as Deni had solid defense coming out of Israel and a good playmaker, but has a questionable shot, and that still remains a question mark in the NBA, but he's only a rookie and he remains to be a young player. As Obi Toppin's definitely older, he's 23 years old, so he's definitely known for not having this high ceiling, or you can call him this 23-year-old project. But yes, I actually had Patrick Williams towards the end of the draft process, being mocked 7th overall to the Detroit Pistons. If it's a physical profile, his hard work, definitely known for having this high upside, people were even calling this a weak draft anyway, so why not go out there, swing for the fences for a guy who has the potential to be the best player out of this draft. So we're really going to take his college career into context. Why did he not start? This is my prediction, or these are my thoughts when it comes to the Florida State program, as they're really strict about winning. They really don't care about your draft stock. Take a look at Scotty Barnes. He's projected to be a lottery pick in the 2021 NBA draft class. He's even being mocked in the top 6, but he didn't even start in the double digits when it came to starting at Florida State. I believe he only started 6 or 7 games when there's over 20 games in a college season. Devin Vassell, he didn't even start in his freshman year. So yes, you really have to work up the ranks to really get minutes. And actually, if you take a look at Patrick Williams, if you really watched him play, he was coming onto the scene, but the season was cut short due to the virus, and he was closing out basketball games. He was known as being one of the best defensive players in the draft. He was built like a brick house with this long wingspan. Yes, maybe his offensive game looked very shaky, but we're talking about, at least at the time, one of the weakest drafts in the past 10 years. There is a LaMelo Ball, there's an Anthony Edwards, and a James Wiseman, but after that, the draft really fell down. Yes, you could have your very highly thought out opinions on an Obi Toppin or an Isaac Okoro, but after the top 3, people really did not like this draft whatsoever. But anyway, you really have to work throughout the ranks. And think about some of the best defensive players in the league, as Devin Vassell, of course, coming out of Florida State, good defensive player. Patrick Williams, good defensive player. Jonathan Isaac, good defensive player as well. Dwayne Bacon, Malik Beasley. You have these very solid players coming out of Florida State. Terrence Mann as well, who has really come onto the scene with the Los Angeles Clippers. But anyway, they really don't care about your draft stock. They don't want you making mental errors. They're going to put the best players out there that have the most experience throughout college to put them in a position to win, adjusting to a shot clock. Those later seniors don't really have to adjust to that whatsoever because they know the flow of the college game. Compared to the high school level, it's totally different when you're playing fast and there may be less structure, if you know what I'm saying. So I never really thought that was a concern. When you take a look at Devin Vassell, he ended up going in the lottery and he didn't even play his freshman year. So yes, they really hold these guys accountable, and they're not just going to hand out minutes compared to a program like Kentucky. Look at John Calipari and Brandon Boston. Yes, you could say it a weak recruiting class, but he tries to put his players in the best position to go to the NBA. Florida State really doesn't think that way, unless you have a Jonathan Isaac, who is just a clear-cut best prospect or one of the top players coming out of high school, so you had no choice but to start him. But Patrick Williams is someone I've actually been very high on, as he's one of the main reasons the Bulls are winning games. Yes, they've been falling off the track, but he is not afraid of the big moment whatsoever. He has a really good work ethic. I've seen him hit clutch shot after clutch shot, but not be phased whatsoever. He is never satisfied. That's what you love. I would actually say he's the second most clutch player behind Zach LaVine, and I think he has a very bright future. And he's also one of the best defensive players in the league as a freaking rookie. His ability to guard pick and rolls, not guarding too high, not guarding too low. His ability to time passing lanes, knowing when to jump. He is absolutely insane, Patrick Williams, with his wingspan. He's built like a brick house. He could bully you down low in the paint. He's good on both ends of the floor. And Patrick Williams' three-point shooting has been better than people expected, as he's actually shooting 38% from downtown. But yes, I do understand it's on a small sample size, only attempting 2 per game. but he's made 38 out of 103 so far this season for the Chicago Bulls. He's really good at getting to his spots from mid-range territory, and he's a freak athlete as well. You can't really look at the points when you see what he's bringing to the table. He's doing the little things, but defense jumps off the page. It's absolutely unbelievable to see, but he's someone that has a handle that's still a work in progress, but I really think Patrick Williams is going to put in the work, and so far it looks like a good pick. When you put everything together, Patrick Williams was someone who was closing games, and he was learning and getting better game after game. And when you're a team like the Bulls, when you have these young types of players and you're not ready to compete yet, this was a good pick, at least at the time before they got Nikola Vucevic, and he's been such a big impact player, especially when they moved on from Wendell Carter Jr., because Kobe White is not a great defensive player. Zach LaVine is not a great defensive player. Lauri Markkanen isn't. Vucevic isn't the greatest as well. So Patrick Williams is really carrying the load on defense. Yes, sometimes he could look like Billy Hoyle, and when it comes to his mechanics, Woody Harrelson, did his shot go in? Yes, but was his form really great? No, that's kind of the thing with Patrick Williams. There's sometimes an inconsistency when it comes to his mechanics, but we're talking about a very good athlete, someone who's really good at moving without the basketball, and I think he's going to be great for a long time with the Chicago Bulls. Let me know down below your thoughts and analysis, and peace out, yo.